Hi, my name is Jana Crawford. The date is August 9th, 2026, and this is my Unit 1 presentation on the genetic-based methods for agricultural pests. And so, to summarize, this article was about the agricultural and ecological aspects that pests have and how we can genetically modify them to reduce the damage that they cause. Um, and so this article goes over many different methods of how we can do that, and it's kind of spans from uh, like genetically modifying plants while also genetically modifying the pests themselves, and just giving a bunch of different ways that we can use genetics to do so. Um, so obviously, more traditionally, we know that to control pests, typically people use pesticides and other forms of pest management. However, like the author kind of explains that advances in genetics have created additional approaches that can specifically target these pest populations a little bit better than just typical pesticides. And so one of the methods that they went over was the SIT method, or the sterile insect technique. So in this method, they would take they would have a group of sterile males that they genetically modified with radiation, and they would release them into the normal population of those pests. And what would happen is, the males are competing to mate, and if the genetically sterile male wins, then the population will overall reduce because they can't have offsprings. And that was a really cool method that I thought was interesting that they used. And another method that they talked about or discussed was engineering insects to carry a dominant lethal genetic construct. And this, in these cases, it would specifically be directed towards females, which means that releasing genetically modified males can reduce the number of females in the next generation. And so that would also help decrease population size and maintain pest control. And the pests that were involved in these examples were the diamondback moth and the Mediterranean fruit fly. Another important part of this article is that genetic pest management is not just about creating genetically modified insects and releasing them. It's also about understanding genetics and ecology and like the effects that it'll have. Um, and so another method that we also got to read about was genetically modified crops. And so the author talks about the BT crop, and these are crops that have been genetically engineered to have pesticides, or not pesticides, insecticides in them. And these can kill certain insect pests and provide a lot of benefit. Of course, kind of similar to like bacteria and antibiotics, these insects can eventually like evolve to get resistance. So a method they use to kind of lower that chance is called the high dose refuge strategy. And so this was basically them planting normal variants of that plant around the insecticide genetically modified plants. And this helped maintain susceptible insects in the population and slow the development of resistance being spread. But overall, I think this article was very beneficial in getting an idea of how we can use genetics for crops and agriculture. And I thought it was really interesting because I never thought about genetically modified um, organisms as uh, insects or pests, and I never thought about it using it as a way to control them. I guess I always thought about it in like foods, um, and stuff, and so I thought it was really interesting seeing all the different methods that we could use and how genetics can overall just benefit, and help us improve agriculture and ecology.